All right, everybody, it's time for another new episode of A Whole New World with me, your host, Jacob New. We have a very special episode today and a very special guest, but before we get to him today, let's first start off with our dad joke of the week. How do the hens cheer on their teams? They egg them on. Ooh. Get it? Because they're hens, they lay eggs. Yeah. You don't find that amusing, do you?
I do find it amusing.
Oh, I love those. So, we have Mr. Carey Stinson in the house, and he is a very special guest today. Thank you for being on the show.
Hey, thrilled to be here, Jacob. Thank you.
And so, Carey, tell us a little bit about you.
Boy, where do we start?
I know.
I'm a photographer. We'll
Yes.
start there. I've been a photographer for the last 8 years now. And before that, I was an actor.
Okay.
I guess still an actor, but I was an actor.
Anything that I might know?
Possibly.
Okay.
I was one of the actors that played Barney,
Oh.
the big purple dinosaur on Barney and Friends.
My hero.
For 22 years. Yeah, I did it... the promotion for a while, and I toured for a while, and then I did the TV show for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Barney and Friends.
Okay. Now, were you with them for, like, the whole time? Like, beginning to end?
So I started in 1991. So Barney started in, I think, 88 or 89.
Okay.
And I was actually doing birthday parties. And it's a long story, but a lot of things had to happen. And I found out about it and did some auditions and ended up doing promotions for them for 5 years, traveling all over the world.
That's exciting.
It was unbelievable. Because when I started, there was no TV show. So,
See, that's all I know.
outside of Dallas, there probably no one knew who Barney was. And then all of a sudden, first thing I did for them was a mall appearance, and we had 7,000 people show up.
Wow.
And that was here in Mesquite, Texas. And we did Mesquite, Plano, Irving, Fort Worth, and then we went to New York the next week, and we had 25,000. Think about that. 25,000 people showing up at a mall to see.
This was before the TV show.
No, the TV show had hit at this point.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. That is crazy,
But
though.
you think 25,000 people to get to see him for 5 seconds, to line up in that. And then we went to Baltimore. We had 50,000, and it was insane. I did the Radio City Music Live 12 shows, which sold out in, I think, 30 minutes.
Wow.
12 shows sold out, Radio City. Huge production. And it was just an unbelievable experience.
Tell us a little bit about what it was like being, like, dancing. Did you have to dance? Like, what,
I
like,
did.
Like,
I did, and I do. I have to dance. That's a funny story. It's a really funny story, Jacob, because I'm not a dancer. But, I was 23 years old when I got into this.
You did a great job on the show.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
A lot of help. But, you're looking for a job. And so they said, can you dance? I said, of course I can dance. Luckily, my mom can dance. My mom's been a dancer for 70 years. Still teaches dance to little kids. So I took the tapes home and said, can you show me how to do this? And it's more involved than you realize, because if you've ever seen Barney does a lot of jumps and leaps and spins. You can really hurt yourself doing that kind of stuff in a big purple suit if you don't know what you're doing. So having to learn proper technique. And so I toured that show for 3 years, and then I did the stage production for 5 years, and then the TV show for 12. So we had choreographers that could help me along.
Man, that just intimidates me, just like thinking about it now. I'm like, wow, because I'm like you, I'm not a very good dancer myself. And so like, just the thought of just putting on a suit
and you have to understand, this is a very large costume, and everything has to be overdone. Mm-hmm. So the way you would wave at someone wouldn't even look like a movement with Barney. So everything is really big and large. All the dance steps, you're really cranking your hips and you're kicking, and so you've got to put a lot of movement into it to make it happen and to do those dances.
Very over-exaggerated.
Very over-exaggerated.
Wow.
Yeah, if you're doing kicks and jumps, and you got to put a lot into it.
So, needless to say, you were in really good shape.
I was in really good shape. I was in really.
I mean, still are in good shape.
Yes, and yeah, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. So, what? Obviously, you've traveled many different places. What's been like your favorite memory from all those?
Oh my goodness! Yeah, it's without. I would say the reactions of the children. You know, I have seen unbelievable things in hospitals with Make-A-Wish. I've been in burn units. I've seen children that haven't spoken in years. But I've also seen all those children in the audience and that get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and wake their parents up, and they've been waiting all week to go see Barney, and they go to the show, and they're their hero. And I did one in Minnesota, 16,000 people per show. Now, I mean, think about that. You know, those are the crowds that all the big stars get, right? 16,000 selling out arenas.
Yes.
And I come out, and I mean about blow you over with how loud they cheer. They know every movement, every step. And when we're doing I Love You at the end, to see 16,000 people hug and all those kids kiss their parents,
it's
powerful. Unbelievable, the power and the emotion of that. So, you know, I was 23 years old. I had to grow up quick because I had to realize and understand how real he was. Mm-hmm. You know, this was a kid's friend. And so you were always in character. And when you're out there, you can't be tired. You know, I'm sweating and all kinds of stuff. But that all goes away. And I'm telling you, the reaction. Barney just puts smiles on people's faces. Even if adults, it just puts smiles on their faces, which is so cool. Yeah.
I mean, I remember just walking around. I had a Barney doll, just like walking around, like singing a song, dancing.
Right.
So I mean, I can.
By the way, this is audio, but he's dancing here in the chair. You're missing that.
I might do another Facebook Live and just show you what I was doing, but you know, like
I think you should.
I might even find the doll. I might have it. I might. But I mean, it's crazy just to think about all the lives that you've touched. I mean, like everybody knows Barney,
right?
And actually, it's kind of weird for me now, like as a teacher.
Sure.
I was actually telling my students about this, and I'm like, Barney? I'm like, you're kidding me, right? And like, but you know, different generation, but. Everybody I know, they knew who Barney was. Everybody knew the "I Love You" song.
Sure, and still do. I get the reaction all the time, and you know, with my new venture with Purple Tails, I'm telling the stories again, and the reaction is just unbelievable. And millennials are the ones that really just because they grew up with it.
Yes. And
of course, now they're starting to get married and have kids, and so you see the cycle going again, which is so great.
Yes, and you know, because like. When we were younger, though, I mean, like kids are sponges. We just absorb everything.
Absolutely.
So, a lot of the things that Barney taught, like we absorbed and we were kind of using it. And I kind of want Barney to come back. I do.
Well, it's been fun that he's we're definitely bringing his spirit back in a big way, and it's so fun to see that. I think he did teach. He's great, but he also just had fun.
Yeah.
And he was just, he loved everyone. He was relatable to everyone. And I think about that a lot, how he would make the silliest little jokes, and kids just thought that was hysterical.
Yeah. I mean, what's more?
And I get it, because I got to meet Carol Spini, who was Big Bird.
Yes.
I got to meet Mr. McFeely from Mr. Rogers. I met Gordon from Sesame Street, and I was like a little kid.
Yeah.
So I got to meet my child heroes. So I understand the response and the responsibility of it, because those kids really loved him.
So I got to ask. So
Sure.
You met Big Bird.
I did.
So,
I worked with them. We worked together.
So did y'all find out that do y'all have like a lot of commonalities, or like what?
We do.
Okay.
We do. I'm telling you, it makes me so proud, because he feels the same way I do. He understands the responsibility. He understands how much people love Big Bird.
Yeah.
And he's always just generous with his time, and such a nice, loving person. And it just makes you feel good. He's not in there for a paycheck. He's in there because he loves it. And he understands how much the kids love it. And I understand that. That's why you go 22 years. Because how do you give that up? How do you give something up to seeing people smile? I mean, it's I'm a very lucky, blessed person.
Man,
and he was the same way.
I'm envious, actually, of all the joy that you brought. And I mean, because one of my goals was I want to make an impact. And one of the reasons why I want to do this show, too, is just to bring positivity to people. But I became a teacher, and you don't go into teaching for the paycheck by any means.
Sure.
And, I mean, just seeing a smile on a child's face, seeing them grow or, share.
Absolutely. But it sounds like you're doing it. You've done it with that. Now you're doing it with this podcast. And my sister is a teacher, so I understand that completely. And how difficult of a job that is.
Yes, and to testify to when you're like, you had to grow up really fast.
Sure.
I mean, having that many kids depend on you must have been, like, that first time especially, like, whoa, like, because, like you said, to them, you're real, and you can't let them down,
right? Right. Yeah, and there's definitely some moments of, twisting ankles and things like that. Yeah. You talk about the show must go on. In a Barney show, the show absolutely goes on, and you deal with stuff.
So
you deal with stuff later.
And obviously, like, when I first started teaching, we had, I was told, you got to check your bags at the door.
Right.
Because whatever is going on in your life, the kids don't.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, and I know you had mentioned this, but I think I know what you might say. But, so, obviously, there might have been things going on in your life. You might have been tough, or you're like, yeah, I don't want to do this suit today. So, like, what would you do to kind of, like, fix your mindset then?
I didn't have to. Yeah, I didn't have to because I knew what I was going to see. Yeah, I knew what I was going to see. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, the power that those children have. How many times have I heard parents say, I didn't get Barney, I didn't understand Barney. Mm-hmm. And then their child saying that I love you and kiss them. And you'd see parents go, oh, yeah, I totally get that. I totally get that. So it's an incredible, I mean, the power. You talk about, I've been talking about a lot about love. It's amazing. Yes.
So I want to hear, what is the story that's kind of like stands out the most of when you've seen the power of Barney at its best?
I think the one, and I've told a couple of these, but there's two that really stand with me, and I'll narrow it down to the one. I want to say I was in Las Vegas, and when Barney goes to the hospital, you're still Barney. Right? Mm-hmm. So what that means is you're still having fun. I'd just wiggle my tail, and I'd be doing, I might do the moonwalk down the, whatever to have fun, right? This is not a depressing place.
I'm impressed you can moonwalk.
Oh, yeah. I've picked up some skills over the years.
Okay, all right.
And so I go into this hospital room, and I don't know what I'm going to see, right? It could be a kid that's not very sick, or it could be a kid that's very sick. And I go in, and there's dad, mom, sister, and then brother who's probably 7. And so I play a little bit and tweak their nose and do all that kind of stuff. Keep it upbeat, happy. I mean. And then there's their little sister in a crib, very sick. And I go over, and you learn over the years how to deal with all of this. And all you can do, which is very powerful, is touch. So I just touched her cheek and just tried to bring a little comfort. And I left the room. I'm banging this mic, sorry. I left the room and went down the hall, and I'm doing my thing. And I used to do this little joke where I would back into elevators, and I would shake my tail and do this whole thing. And that little boy saw me that was in that room, and I ran over to him and I hugged him, and he looked at me and he said, "Barney, take care of my little sister." Those children believe he had that power. Wow. To keep them safe. And I realized really quickly that child thought that Barney was going to take care of his sister. And, all you can do is hug and comfort them. But the impact of that, of understanding that, is amazing. Is amazing. Because I've only seen that child for 5 minutes. But he's obviously been watching the show, and he's obviously sees that. It's pretty special.
That's powerful, and I'm just like tearing up. I don't know if you can see a little bit. I'm gonna blame it on allergies, but
and I tell you, I just started telling some of these stories, man. And I want to share that. I want people to understand, what impact we can all have with each other, showing love and being respectful. And I mean, it's pretty powerful. And my vessel was through Barney, but it's a pretty amazing thing.
And but I mean, I think it's still, you still embody a lot of Barney. I mean, you were him so long, but like you said that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd known you for a couple months.
Yeah, something
before.
Like that.
I mean,
yeah,
we met at poker,
right?
And you took my money.
I told you I had a couple other skills,
you did,
not just moonwalking.
Yeah, but then, but I mean, like you're just so welcoming and kind to everybody. I mean, like even now, you still carry those traits, and for me, I feel it, and I just want to say thank you as well. So,
thank you very much. I just feel like I've been very fortunate for this, and I've seen it, and I think we all see it. We don't realize it. If you have someone cut you off, or you have someone just say I'm sorry, or I didn't mean to do that, or your attitude changes, right? You can see that. And so I've just seen that power over the years, and really try to, be patient and and just see how powerful. It's incredible.
All right, man. Yes. I think we're gonna need to take a break so I can like get some tears out of the way, man. I'm about to cry. So, yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and this is A Whole New World, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to A Whole New World with me, your host, Jacob New, where we're here to put a spotlight on positive things happening in the community and developing a positive mindset. We got Carey Stinson here, and we were just talking about me crying like a little baby.
Tears of joy, tears of joy.
Tears of joy, yes. And but so Ben Barney did Barney for a while. Obviously, the show's done now. So
we're not doing any new shows, but it is on
Universal
Kids right now.
Okay.
So and the episodes that I did.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So you can actually see me again on Universal Kids, and then Amazon too. Amazon Prime, you can get the shows. So we are still out there. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
My day just got infinitely better.
Absolutely.
So you are a photographer now, and
yes.
But you're also you're continuing the Barney on in a different format.
Absolutely.
So, tell us a little bit about that.
It's very exciting. It's called Purple Tales Podcast. Purple Tales is Barney stories through the eyes of all the people involved in the Barney universe, from the cast members to crew to the tour to PR. I think it's really important for people to understand how much we loved about it and the passion we had for it too. We knew how much passion our fans were, but we felt the same way about it. And a lot of people have never had the voice, so we've been able to give them the voice to tell these stories. Myself, I'm the host of the show, and then Nancy J., who's been in the media and the entertainment world in Dallas for a long time. She's my co-host. and we bring in different people each week to tell these Barney stories, and of course I tell a few Barney stories each week as well.
I would imagine you have a couple.
Just a couple. Just a couple. And going back, it's so crazy, because, like I said, I started in 1991, so, we show pictures each week, and we've got to scan them. We don't have any digital copies. Some of the, we've gone back in time a little bit, which is fun.
What was it? Was it Kodak?
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, it was back there.
I remember those. Did you ever have those, you had to, well, I'm assuming you did. You had to, crank.
Oh, sure.
Crank.
Absolutely.
That's the noise I think it makes.
Oh,
but
sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what it did. Yep. Absolutely. So Purple Tales has been an amazing experience. The response has been incredible, and
yes, and I've listened to a couple, and it's so neat to hear the behind the scenes and just the different perspectives. Because obviously, me being in the audience,
sure.
You have no idea what goes on behind, so it's just kind of like,
it's way bigger than people realized.
Yeah,
the production of it, all of it, whether it was the sing-alongs or even the tour was massive, with massive show, like a Broadway show on the road each week, and then the TV show, 3 big sets, and it was massive.
Yeah, and I know there were several of the kids on the show ended up becoming celebrities, didn't they?
They did.
Or will some of them be on the show too? Or
we're working. Everyone's invited, so we are working on getting them all. But yes, Selena Gomez was on with me.
Okay.
Demi Lovato was on. We've got Pia Hamilton played Min in one of the earlier years, and she's now on Broadway in The Lion King. So
that's cool.
It's very cool. So we've got a lot of them that are doing a lot of amazing things, and so bringing them back and.
It's because they had such a good role model.
Well, they were all really good kids. And, I think what's amazing through this experience, people are just shocked that we did this in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, a lot of people
just
don't know that.
Just shocked that the talent that we have here in Dallas and what we could do from Dallas. Yeah. This was not a Hollywood show. This was not New York. This was Dallas, Texas. Yeah, and we're very proud of that.
That's why we're called the Big D, right?
That's right. That's right.
Oh, that's so cool. So, what is... Now, you told me before that you have a special event. So normally, I'll let you go into it.
Yeah, I'm so excited to announce it here on your show.
Yes.
On a whole new world.
Yeah.
We're going to have Purple Tales live. So we are going to do our podcast live June 22nd in Ennis, Texas.
Okay.
In their brand new theater in downtown Ennis. So Nancy J and myself will be there. And then we're bringing guests with us. So we're going to have Jeff Ayers, who was the costume actor in Baby Bop. We're going to have Kyle Nelson, who was BJ costume actor. Patty Wirtz, who was the voice of BJ. And one of our choreographers will be there as well, who runs the theater. So I think it's going to be a fun night. All the audience will be able to ask us questions. So we'll be doing that for the first time. It will be live streamed, so you'll be able to find it on our YouTube channel, Purple Tales Podcast. Tickets are $25 each, and all the money is going to the Boys and Girls Club of Ennis. So we are so excited. Barney's getting to help the children again, which we are so excited about.
Dude, that is so awesome that you're giving back to the kids.
Absolutely. We are so excited about that.
He's even on reruns and still giving back.
He's still giving back, yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Oh, a whole new announcement.
Well, we have to stay true to Barney, and that's what Barney would want, and so it's exciting.
That is amazing, and I wish. And so tickets have.
They went on sale this morning.
Okay.
They went on sale this morning.
So where?
So you can go to the Ennis Theater to their website.
Ennis Theaters.
To their website. That's right.
All right. So all you who want to go meet Barney in person.
And Baby Bop and BJ. We'll all be there.
The whole crew. Go to Ennis Theaters website. To enunciate that, sorry. And get your tickets today.
And I'll tell you this, too. The information will also be on Purple Tales podcast website, so you can get that information there, too. We will make it very easy for you to Facebook and social media, all the Purple Tales podcast social media.
Ease of access is important.
Absolutely.
So that is so exciting. So obviously, how long do you see Purple Tales podcast going?
I think we're going to see where it goes.
Just see where it goes? Okay.
You know, people always, when I started it, they were like, well, how far can you go? Years. We've got so many people that are involved. You just have no idea. And some fascinating. I mean, next 2 months, we've got... I'm so excited about this. Jake Berry's going to be there. Jake Berry and Sloan Coleman. Sloan Coleman was the lady that hired me, but Jake Berry did the Stones tour, and U2, and Janet Jackson, and Christina Aguilera, and all of those, and he happened to do Barney as well. Yeah. Bob West, the original voice of Barney, is going to be on in a couple weeks.
Oh, that's so cool.
Very cool. Pia Hamilton, I was telling about The Lion King. Mm-hmm. She's going to be there. Barry Pearl, who was in this little movie called Grease. He was one of the T-Birds, one of the Thunderbirds. So we have these amazing people. Bob LaValle, who's going to be on us next week, and he is the gentleman that created all the sets, all these amazing sets. So to get to hear his story about creating sets for a big purple dinosaur should be fascinating. And I want to make this clear. This is an amazing show talking a lot about Barney, but you don't have to love Barney to be interested in this show, because you are going to learn things about writing for a kid's show and building these sets. We've got all these tour people that are coming. We've got a tour manager who's out with Maroon 5 now, who's going to come out with us. So there's some fun stories that'll come in there as well. There's
definitely, multifaceted. You can
absolutely, because we're talking about where they are now, too.
Yeah.
Where they are, which is some fascinating stories.
There's always that curiosity, I think, with people, too, of, like, where are they now? Yeah. What are they doing?
And the funny thing is, a lot of them are... You're running into them and you just don't even realize.
Yeah. And, sometimes you end up playing poker with them.
Well, right. You have no idea. Yeah. I don't even think I think when we played that you didn't even know, right?
No, I had no idea.
Purple Tales didn't happen yet. I hadn't told my story yet.
Yeah.
So
took several rounds of money from me. But, it's okay. I'm not bitter. I found,
He's still smiling. And still dancing here, too. I really wish we had video here.
I think it's probably a good thing that the Facebook Live didn't work today.
You're going to have to recreate these moves next week.
Yeah, I will. No guarantee, though, that it'll be the same. It'll be as awesome, but just not the same.
I got you.
Yeah, my fiance can attest to that.
Yeah.
She'll, you're going to dance? Okay. Well, look at that. Look what's over there.
Yeah, no, I got you.
So.
Because we do Purple Tales is very popular on YouTube as well. We do video with ours. And I've had to dance a few times in the studio, so. Yes.
I have not seen that.
Oh, yeah, you're missing it. Yeah,
Okay.
They come out, all of a sudden I start singing and dancing again. I can't help it. I
guess that's what being Barney does.
It does. It does. It's deep in my soul.
It's a good thing to have deep in your soul.
It is. It is.
So, I only have just about one more question for you.
Sure.
So, obviously you have Barney, and when it the words.
Yeah.
do you ever have those moments?
It happens.
Yeah.
The best of us.
So, what do you do now? So, I know we talked about earlier when you were down that you didn't have to worry about it. So, like, now if you're starting to feel, what do you do to kind of, like, bring up your spirits just a little bit?
Oh.
Still go back to your Barney days, or, like, what?
I'm a
how do you maintain a
pretty
mindset?
Positive person. I definitely do gratitude in the morning, which is a very important thing.
Yes.
Just being thankful for the things that if you realize that we're all very lucky, and so I do gratitude every morning and kind of have a morning ritual to get myself going and staying positive throughout the day.
What's up? I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So I think everybody should develop them a morning ritual.
Oh, absolutely! It changed my life. I wasn't really doing it when I was on the Barney's course. I had, there was a lot of positive going on with the Barney world. But after that, and I got into the business world, doing small business. I have definitely created a morning. Yeah.
It's almost necessary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. Well. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Carey.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been my pleasure, man. I've thoroughly enjoyed talking with you today. Thank you to everybody for tuning in, and This is A Whole New World with me, your host, Jacob New. And as always, if you only learn to do one thing, learn to make a difference. Y'all have a good night.
Anticipating our own demise. We don't know what's waiting.